And jump right into it. It is April 12th. So we are, let's see, we're about a little bit over a quarter of the way through the month, a little bit less than half. And we can see on the monthly, and this is the 24-hour. I just have this up to kind of show you guys a couple things. But on the 24-hour, we really see, or the monthly, we really see not much change. You can see the market's trading a little bit lower here. If we were to switch this over to the cash only chart, you can see, we're really just kind of trading inside the previous month's range, right? Since we are trading a little bit lower here, we definitely have to watch that low 51.8175, which is the cash low. Right now we're trading about 98, so not too far away from it. Some other monthly levels we want to be paying attention to, that 5103. Was the low. 50.63 is the low. The open was 5105 quarter. Switching over here to the weekly, you can see we're actually developing a -4 on the weekly. So that's something interesting. We pulled down to that 9 on the weekly and then bounced here a little bit. So far, we're trading back down 51.99. So we're trading, back towards the low. So that's going to really make this some kind of easy opportunity here with us wanting to stay short below the 52.58 and kind of confirming. I think I have the mark at 52.53 or 50, yeah, 52.53, I think, on the profiles, right? The COT BPOC that we've been tracking. Well, the open for this month is 52.58, so not far away from that. And then because we made a lower low, and we're now one time framing lower on the weekly, we're getting this kind of -4 look. It is Friday, so we'll see how we do finish up. The key thing here is the market would need to stay below the 52.53, the last week's close, in order to kind of confirm this as a -4 bar heading into today. So basically, should we get above that, we'll probably see some big moves to the upside. But should we not get above that, and that's that 52.53, then there is decent odds that we kind of continue lower or stay lower. So maybe some fading possibilities. Definitely need to pay attention to the previous week's current price, or the current week's current price, right? We're about 5,200 right now. So like I said, we're trading down here. This is a cash only on the weekly. If you switch to the 24-hour on the weekly, you can see the -4, currently updated, but still -4 nonetheless. Now, if we switch over here to a daily, cash only daily, we could see yesterday, after we got above that -4 close, nice pop. Hopefully everyone was in on that trade. One of the setups that we look for all the time to either go with or go against those -4s, +4s, right? They tend to be some pretty decent days. Now we're going to get an open down here around this like 51, let's just call it 5,200. So we're going to open down here. So let's think about some things that can either turn this into a blue bar, right? Which typically results in new upsides or new highs, new recent highs. So maybe a new swing high. So we're looking above that 52.80. And what could happen is it could be a -4 bar, right? Because all the data points, the open's going to be lower, the close, well, the close will depend because it's last price. But if we make a lower low, then we start to get into another -4 day of a bar, and we want to be paying attention to that because we don't really necessarily want to fade that if it's developing. Other key levels that we want to be paying attention to, obviously these daily moving averages, people trade them, and it's not just hocus pocus. The reason things work is because people believe in them. So you see this 9 weekly moving average, and a lot of times, like, it's based in math, and it might not be exact, right? So like I'm using the 9, maybe you're using the 10, maybe Sally's using the 8, but relatively, even when you do math, because that's all they are, is a math problem basically expressed as a line on the chart, they're going to work because people are going to be using them. Okay, so we definitely want to be monitoring that today. The weekly 9 moving average is sitting at about 51.86. The weekly, or the daily 50 moving average is sitting about 51.40. And then we have the 9 daily and the 20 daily sitting above, but they're pretty far above as well. So we'll kind of pay attention to those as the day progresses. As the session starts to roll on, we'll kind of see what we get here. Yesterday's close sitting about 52.41. I'm sure it's a little bit different than that. The settle the settlement was 52.43 quarter. So I mean, 2 points difference, I guess. Not that big of a deal. So a little bit of a review from yesterday, right? We opened up the morning, we liquidated, we started to balance with D and C period both inside B period. E period was able to come up. F and G really stayed inside A, but then once we broke above that previous day's, really the open, um, the market just started to catch a real strong bid, and really this previous day's settle, which was 5207.75, was really just kind of the break point, right? We got this -4 day, and market tries to get below the settle, can't get below the settle, kind of blast off. A little bit of sell off in the end of the day, letting us know that maybe some momentum traders kind of got in the market. Still unable to get up there to that previous close from the T2 area, and more or less still remaining in this balance, but kind of balancing lower. If you're looking at kind of a bigger picture, you see balance, market moves lower, get this, kind of big move up, and then that big liquidation. And for the most part, we've kind of remained inside that area. So definitely something that we want to continue to monitor. But like I said, this low is going to be key, 51.85. Today, the previous day's low, we'll switch over in a second. And then that 51.73 quarter is really just such a key. If it breaks, then there's decent odds that we're going to be trading down to that 51.40. So down to around here. And that's kind of what I'll be looking for. So remember, as far as today sets up, you've got yesterday's value area. And since we're opening up in this kind of lower distribution, we're just really going to be looking at kind of like the meat of this. And so this, I think, is kind of the area basically from like 52.20 to 51.90 as far as where we're looking for a break from. And so should we get below that level, we're going to be looking for breaks of the previous day's current day's low, which is that like 51. What was yesterday's low? Like a little bit 51.83 or something like that. But that's where it's going to have to break. If it does break out of this area, it's going to have to break that level. You're looking for that retest, and then to the 51.40 is kind of that next target down. Inside this range, right, we can kind of just expect it to be choppy. And then outside of this range, you're looking at a little bit of a cautious long here because we have some single prints. So we've got these single prints up to about that 52.30. So cautious longs here, right? And then the longs start to get a little bit more aggressive as we pile up over this go no go level, that 40, into the cot, and then ultimately up to this kind of very equilibrium type high, right? You have 3 highs relatively in the same spot, about 52.70-ish, right? And that's kind of that ticket. If we get above even yesterday's range, 60 to 70, but really above yesterday's settle, that's really where it kind of starts to take off from. And I think your best odds as far as if you're going to get long is to probably wait until we get up there for that. But other than that, that is pretty much it. Remember, we get our COT report this afternoon. We're also going to get some news here at 10 a.m., so maybe advantageous to wait a little bit, but more or less some opportunity kind of setting up here as far as the day goes. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Remember, it's Friday. No need to kind of throw everything you've got. If you've had a bad week, just take today as a study day. Don't even trade. Just watch. If you've had a great week, right? Don't try to force the edge and have the best week of your life. Just stick to what you've been doing because that's been working. But other than that, like I said, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Make sure you're managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. And I will see you guys on Monday.